Ladies and most gentlemen, today we're going to talk about research. Yes, a brand new feature which has just come into the game in Battle for Azeroth. We had a new patch last night which brought in a ton of music, the login screen, and several other minor little features to the game. But today we're going to look at the research feature. Now this is extremely similar to the Order Hall research that we did in Legion. If you remember, in your Order Hall you had like different tiers and you had to choose between one or two, and sometimes you did only have one, and then they added more as the patches went on. They were unique to each class, but this time around it's actually the same for everyone. Apart from a few different wordings and different city names, it is the same for the Horde and the Alliance, and I'll mention which ones are different as and when. So it starts here on the Wind's Redemption boat for the Alliance, and it starts in the Zuldazar docks for the Horde. So this starts at level 114, and we're going to go over all the tiers that are currently available on the beta. Remember, beta is beta, so these are subject to change, but I mean, they look pretty good. They look pretty good for where we're at. So as I said, this first one is a level 115. We have war resources again in this expansion, similar to Order Hall resources, which we get from World Quest and things like that. So yeah, pretty much the same method of gaining those. And yeah, they take a couple hours, so let's go over the first one. So we have a choice of two. We have the Seafarer's Hearth, which has harnessed the power of the sea, reducing the cooldown of your Hearthstone by 40% when used in Kul Tiras and Zandalar. So your default Hearthstone is 30 minutes, obviously with the Hasty Hearth from the guild perk, it's 15, but that, I believe this will stack with that that ability. So yeah, with the guild perk and with this, it will be like around 7 minutes, which is going to be pretty damn quick, to be honest. That's pretty insane for a Hearthstone. Remember back in Vanilla when it was like an hour? Damn. Things certainly change, but that is only in Kul Tiras and Zandalar. The second one is Swift Landing. Capture the momentum from your recent flight path, increasing your mounted movement speed by 20% for 5 minutes upon landing. So this is pretty cool. I guess once you take a flight path, you get 20% more mount speed for 5 minutes. After that flight path, I guess you could just keep rotating flight paths just randomly back and forth to get more mounted speed, but it's a nice little addition. Personally, I would go for the Hearthstone, because that's more permanent. So yeah, that's the first tier of research, and again that starts at level 114 and requires 15 war resources, which is literally nothing. The next one is unlocked at level 118 and requires 3 war champions. Now war champions are the same as the Order Hall champions that you had previously, and yeah, they're just here. Relatively easy to get, same sort of system as Legion that everyone loves. Everyone loves the mission table, it's so much fun. Oh my god, I love the mission table. So anyway, the second one is, you have 2 options again. You have upgraded troop barracks. Construct a larger barracks for your troops, increasing the number of troops you can have by 2. And the second one is Troop Portal Network. Open a portal for transportation of troops from Stormwind or Orgrimmar for the Horde, allowing troops to be recruited instantly. So this is kind of a choice between whether you want troops faster or you want more troops. Yeah, so again, something to do with the mission table. Personally, I don't really care for it much, but I guess more troops would be better because then you can do more missions, I suppose. So the third tier and all the tiers beyond that now require level 120. The third tier specifically is to do with island expeditions. So if you don't do island expeditions, this tier is kind of lost on you, but yeah, you still have to get through this tier to get to the next tier. And to even start unlocking this tier, you need to do at least 5 different island maps. Now, if you didn't know, they rotate on a weekly schedule. They'll rotate in groups of 3. Not to say that there'll be 3 brand new ones every week. It could just swap out 1 or 2. We're not actually sure on that 100%. But yeah, so you're going to have to do at least 5 different island expedition maps to do that, and you can't pinpoint specific ones, so it is random when you queue. So who knows how long this could take, and if you're not really interested in doing island expeditions, you're kind of screwed on this one. You will actually have to do them to progress on to the next tier. So, this one is 2 options once again, and yeah, so the first one is Island Plunderer. Learn the pirate's secrets of spotting treasure, granting you a chance to receive additional Seafarer's Dumb Balloons on island expeditions. So these Seafarer's Dumb Balloons are actually the currency for some of the rewards for island expeditions, I believe. I'm pretty sure that's I don't think they're actually in the beta at the moment, but I'm pretty sure that's what they are, and that would make sense for that one. The second one is Island Archaeologist. Learn the secret of the ancient civilizations, increasing the duration of effects of shrines by 20%. So this one is for when you're in the island expeditions, you get specific shrines around some of them, which will give you really awesome buffs, and that just increases their length by 20%. Honestly, for me, if that is the currency for the rewards, 100% I would choose that. I don't really care too much for 20% more on the shrines. You could just find another shrine, I suppose. But yeah, definitely that one, and A bit rubbish that it is only for people who do island expeditions, because there could be players who will not even touch them the entire time and probably want to get to the bottom rank. So yeah, I mean, let me know what you think of that. So tier 4 is again a open world one, not related to island expeditions or warfronts or anything like that. And you have a choice of 2 once again, and this requires at least 5 war champions and 120. So the first one is World Azeroth Detector. Construct an Azeroth detector on your ship, granting you a chance to find additional Azeroth when completing world quests. Which sounds pretty good. On top of the war mode percent as well as that could actually be a really good way to farm Azeroth efficiently. The second one's called Local Transportation, and this upgrades your Flight Master's whistle, allowing you to call for a quick flight back to Borealis when using a whistle directly next to a Flight Master in Zandalar and Kul Tiras. Now this is kind of interesting, like with the Hearthstone, if you have the fast Hearthstone, it probably isn't worth having this one. But, you know, you can kind of like work it out before you start researching into these things. And, I mean, depending on where you are in Kul Tiras and Zandalar, it could be quite good. Especially on Zandalar. So say if you're like in the middle of Vol'dun and you want to get back to Borealis nice and quick, it's a nice little thing to have, I suppose. Obviously for the Horde, it will transport you back to Zoldazar instead of Borealis, because, you know, you wouldn't want to go to Borealis as a Horde. And, yeah, it sounds okay. Again, I don't know which one I would pick there, honestly. I guess it would be a case of just kind of realizing what you enjoy doing in the expansion. And that's kind of what's good about these. There's a lot of personal choice, but a lot of hard decisions as well. So tier 5 is completely related to Warfronts. If you don't do Warfronts, I guess this tier is completely lost on you, but I would imagine most people will probably partake in at least 1 to 2 Warfronts throughout the entire expansion. They are a lot of fun. Even if you don't like PvE too much, they are really, really great to do. So to unlock this one, you need to be a level 120, and you need to win a Warfront against 3 unique enemy commanders. If you didn't know, there's a rotation of enemy commanders for each Warfront, for the Horde and the Alliance, so yeah, it's pretty RNG. You could potentially have the same commander twice in a row. It's pretty cool. It doesn't really change too much of the Warfront, to be honest. Maybe the end kind of commander has different tactics, but really it's not too much of a difference. It's only really a visual thing, in my opinion. So we have 2 traits again. The first one being Warfront Resourcer. Learn more efficient ways to gather resources under pressure, increasing the resource gathering speed by 15% while fighting in Warfront. So this is quite good. I guess by resources it means iron and lumber, which are really, really important when it comes to Warfronts, when gathering troops and recruiting troops and building buildings and everything like that. So this could be a really good one, especially 15%. So the second one is Warfront General. So it says learn how to best inspire allies in combat, increasing the effectiveness of nearby troops by 15% while fighting in Warfronts. So this could be really good again. When you're near your troops, they'll hit a bit harder, which is quite good. So yeah, again, a personal choice. Both ones are very good. It depends what you prefer to do in a Warfront. If you're more of the fighting type, you can go in and have this one. If you're more of a gatherer, then you can have the Warfront Resourcer, which is, again, personal preference to the player. And the final one, Tier 6, is Alliance Ambassador, or Horde Ambassador, obviously. Opens up additional lines of trade with your new allies, granting you additional war resources from Emissary Quests. So Emissary Quests are coming back in Battle for Azeroth, of course, and yeah, just additional war resources. Nothing really too special about that, but I guess it's the last tier, and yeah, for that you actually need Azerothian Diplomat, which is getting revered with at least 3 Kul Tiras or Zandalar factions, which isn't going to be too difficult. You actually get that pretty much by the time you complete some of the questing zones. So I think, personally, I think we will see a lot more of these added in each patches like we did in Legion. Hopefully they're beneficial, not just like additional troops or anything like that. You know, I really hope they do some good stuff with this. Just one last thing I wanted to touch on, which is kind of funny. If you look at the background of this, that is actually Frostmourne. I know it was Frostmourne also in Legion, but I feel like no one even mentioned it. So that's basically what, like, Bolvar Allied Race confirmed, I believe. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting choice for a picture, to be honest. But I guess they might change it. It could just be a placeholder being copied straight over from Legion. But interesting tidbit for you. And it actually kind of looks like Northrend as well. So pretty random. But yeah, that's that. Let me know in the comments what you think of all of these traits, if you think they should be changed, what ones would you go for personally, and what ones would you like to see in the future. I'd love to know what you guys have to say. So before I go, I'd like to give a massive shout out to my amazing patrons and YouTube sponsors. You guys are awesome. And if you'd like to support the channel in that way, links are down below. So leave a like on this video, guys, if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't. I also have a merch store over on Streamlabs, along with my partner Discord channel. Links to those are in the description below this video. And with that, I'll see you next time.